So this morning I sent a broker a list of 40 items on our due diligence list that I needed them to get back with me. If you think that that's overkill, this episode's for you. All right, we've got several parks under contract right now. It's a portfolio deal. There's 3 of them. And the things that I sent for the broker, and by the way, this is a due diligence episode. All right, I know a lot of people are super excited to get in the game, and there's a lot of things you're gonna overlook if you don't have a park. Even a property, even a house, you do this when you start, and you shouldn't. A lot of people do, at least. If you're a doer like me, you might overlook some things until you get experienced. This is what this episode's for. These are the nuggets that I want to show you so that you don't get in trouble, all right? Say you're gonna buy a park, and this is what I do, all right, at least. I wanna make sure I get all the recent T12s, trailing 12 months of financials, actually 24 months. I'll get the last 24 months and up to date, okay? And then I want the rent roll, the current rent roll. And then here's what's super important. I think that's not talked about a ton, and I think it's like you should do it, all right? Or at least we do it. I always hate saying you should do something, but get the bank statements. That way you can reconcile, like you could put both against each other and make sure the rents are what they are, because I can give you a rent roll all day, and if the bank statements don't tie out to the rent roll, to the T12, like the financials are way off from what's in the bank. Like, well, we keep a lot of money. It's like, okay, well, how can you prove it, right? Like, how do you prove this income? Because at the end of the day, I think I shared a post on Facebook earlier that somebody was really struggling running an RV park because they said they bought it for a great price. And it's like, buying something at a great price is relative, like the word great price, because if you buy something and you're losing your ass, you didn't buy it at a great price. And that's what due diligence does for me specifically. Like this particular deal, I have 45 days due diligence. We actually signed the LOI. We haven't even signed the purchase agreement yet. I'm waiting for them to get that to me. But I know the parties, so I know it's gonna happen. So I'm already getting going on this due diligence. I have 45 days, once the purchase agreement's signed, but I'm just getting ahead of it. So I sent all this stuff. And what I'm doing in those 45 days is I want to make sure I'm warm and fuzzy about the whole transaction. I understand the operations. I understand exactly what I'm getting into. That way, the day I close, there's very little surprises. I'm not gonna say there's not surprises when you buy things. Crap happens, but very little, right? I wanna understand, especially buying 3 parks, but even just one, I wanna understand all the utilities, because those are yours now. Like what the water lines in the ground, the sewer lines in the ground, the septics, if there's a well, like whatever, I am gonna own those. So I need to know every single thing about them, and I'm gonna pay to have every single thing inspected. Also, utility usage. I wanna see all the bills, not just for this month, but I wanna see recent bills too. Have they gone up? Have they gone down? Are they not showing? Because if you're paying the bills, then you're going to be paying if they're paying the bills, you're gonna be paying them when you close. All right, here's another thing is like the tax assessments. Like I haven't provided the current, and yeah, I could pull that stuff. There's a lot of public stuff, but I want the tax assessments, right? Like say that you're buying something, I'm just gonna name a number. Say you're buying something for $1 million, and it's on, they bought it, or it's on the tax roll for, 500,000, and you get reassessed at that $1 million for some reason. They find out or whatever, right? Your tax bill is going to go up. So you can, like, what we'll do is we'll just estimate it going up to what we bought it for. It doesn't always work out that way, but I don't like surprises. I want to see, another thing is, there might be some tenant homes that are being like rent to own, lease options, stuff like that, or even on notes, but I still want to see the inside of those. Like I want to know every single aspect of what I'm getting into. So the financials have to tie out, the rents have to tie out, the utilities have to be understood, the infrastructure has to be, inspected by qualified professional people that, can tell you what's up. And not only that, but, you just need to understand all this stuff, right? If you're gonna, and I had so much of this on my mind right now, because when I close, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go meet the tenants, whether it's virtually or it's in person. All right. And I don't want to be like, well, what's this? What's that? I already want to know, right? And that's the thing, is you want to know who's like your bad tenants. You want to know who's your good tenants, who are going to have to evict, what notes are current, just be completely warm and fuzzy. You want to be able to, during a due diligence period, you want to be able to talk yourself. I'm not saying you need to talk yourself out of it, but you shouldn't be able to talk yourself out of it, right? If it's a good deal. If you have like this gut feeling because you don't know half of what you're getting into and you're like, it'll be all right, we'll figure it out. That's not how you do this. All right. That's just, I don't care if you're like super doer, it's just not how you do things. So understand the rents, understand the utilities, the infrastructure. And when it comes to infrastructure, this is what I was going to tell you earlier, is like, say it's septic, well, how many homes can you actually put before you need new septic, before you need a upgraded septic? If it's like, well, do you need to be with you need to report to government? Do they report to the government? How does that look? What are the fees associated? Does the infrastructure support growth? There might be extra land, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can use the land for what you want to, so like I'll email counties and like, hey, jurisdictions, like, hey, can we do this or that? This is our plan. We're thinking about buying this. We're under due diligence. Tell me what I can and can't do, right? All this stuff matters. So I hope that this kind of opens your eyes if you're looking at this stuff. I don't want it to discourage you, but I do want it to be a filter. So what I like to do is whenever I'm getting something under contract, I'll obviously send an LOI and we'll go back and forth until everybody agrees. And the LOI is just a preliminary. It's not binding. It's just like, hey, we both agree on this. It's on paper. Put it on a purchase agreement. Review the purchase agreement. All right. If everybody agrees on the purchase agreement, your due diligence clock usually starts. And I like to do at least 45-day due diligence. A lot of sellers are like, why do you need that long? It's like, do you see this list of stuff I just sent you? You're not going to snap your fingers and just send it all to me, right? It's going to take them a lot of times a week or two to get me everything I need. And then I've got to go through it. I'm going to have questions on it. We're already a month in. We're like 30 days in. Just in that process, it goes quick, right? I'm emailing counties. I'm figuring all this stuff out to make sure, like on this particular deal, it's a value add. So I have an end in mind and I'm right here. I want to make sure that end can, I can meet the end in mind and with no problems, or I know the path to do that, because a lot of times we're raising money and I need to be able to explain like, hey, why do I need all this money, right? What am I going to do with it? What return, like what's it going to do for us for the project? Anyways, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for listening to this rant. Hope it sparks some interest, some curiosity. I want you to think about it next time you're locking a deal up. My name is Travis Wells. This is the Property Profits Podcast. Until next time, see ya.